Okay, good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that we are in Treaty One territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Innu, and Dakota peoples, and in the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. My name is Bill Moretsky. I am on the panel this morning, and I will also be chairing this meeting. With me in the room on the panel as well is Mr. Robert Kraus, and joining on Zoom is Mr. Clay Purvis. Our secretary today is Ms. Phoebe Graywood, and our assessor for today's properties is Ms. Kara Kaplevi. To the Zoom participants of the hearing, please note you are placed in the waiting room until your property is called upon. When it is your turn, you will be admitted into the meeting. Kindly follow along on the City of Winnipeg's Board of Revision YouTube channel for the hearing process. Once the host admits you into the hearing, please close or mute your YouTube player. You will then be permitted to speak with respect to your property. Once your hearing has concluded, you can leave the meeting. We will be hearing applications for revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and the City Administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all of the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. We will be hearing items 2 through 10, 12, and 16 on our docket today. Ms. Graywood, please affirm the assessors and the applicant for item 1 testimony.
Ms.
Item
Kaplevi.
2.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Ms. Kaplevi, can you state your full name?
Kara Kaplevi.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Isabel Martinez, welcome. You can come up to the table if you'd like. Thank you. I think it's while you're still standing. Can you state your full name?
Isabel Martinez Welgan.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, the first item on our docket is item number 2, 31 Cattail Cove. This is a application for revision of assessed value. Ms. Kaplevy, you can begin your presentation.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property has a roll number 0309297934. It is a street address 31 Cattail Cove. It is in the South Point neighborhood. It is a two-story single dwelling built in 2014. It has 2,511 square feet, a full basement with basement finish, 3 full baths, 1 half bath, 1 shower. It has central air conditioning and an attached multiple garage. The assessed lot size is 6,814 square feet. It has the land influences of bus route, external corner, hydro, transformer box, and medium traffic. The comparables are in the same neighborhood. All are 2 stories. Comparable 2 is built in 2014 and the other 3 are built in 2012. All have full basements. Comparable 1 and comparable 4 have basement finish. Comparable 1 and 4 have 4 bathrooms total. Comparable 2 and 3 have 3 bathrooms total. Except for comparable 2, the rest have central air conditioning. Comparable 1, 2, and 4 have a fireplace. All comparables have an attached multiple garage. The lot sizes of the comparables range from 5,281 square feet to 9,974 square feet. Traffic influences of 2 are similar with the bus route, bus stop, external corner, and medium traffic. Comparable 3 and 4 have bus route and heavy traffic. Comparable 3 also has a hydro transformer box. The time-adjusted sales prices range from $643,000 to $689,000. The time-adjusted sales price per square foot is $274 to $283 a square foot. The subject property has a 2025 assessment roll value of $661,000, which is $263.24 per square feet. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kaplevy. Isabel Marquis Welgan, do you have any questions for the assessor's presentation?
So the only question I had is in terms of the year associated with the property, did you say 2014?
Yes, that is correct.
So that's indicated as the build year?
Yes.
Oh, okay, because we moved in 2013 and it had been initiated in 2012. So I think there is an error there, although that's just a minor point. My point is simply in terms of the amount of the assessed value, that it is, if I understand correctly, based on an average, the neighborhood, is that correct?
No, it is based on comparable sales. We look at comparable sales that take place from April 1st, 2021 to April 1st, 2023. There are averages for the neighborhood, but some properties may be higher, some properties may be lower than that average.
So then if I understand correctly, the average, the comparables would then generate the average. The average would be based on the comparables. Is that correct?
It's the comparables is what determine the comparable sales in the area are what determine the market value.
Okay, so at some point though, what I'm asking is that it's based on some sort of a range, whether the range is neighborhood comparables, direct comparables, or city, right? It's based on a range, and then some sort of summary figure is given for that range, correct?
It's based on comparable sales. So similar sales that take place. We don't compare a bungalow to a 2-story. We compare a 2-story to a 2-story. We try and compare similar square footages, garage, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, so then I guess what my point is that the comparables are not directly comparable to the home that we have purchased in 2013. And the reason is because when we purchased the home, just as a very brief background, it was already halfway built and the builder had planned a number of finishes in the home. We negotiated to have those finishes removed because it was outside of our price range and it made a very substantial difference in the price. And if I remember correctly, it was in the range of $80,000 difference, even just 10 years ago. So my point is that the comparables in the neighborhood, our house is not a typical South Point neighborhood in the sense of the finishes. It is in terms of the square footage in the space, which is what we were after. So in terms of the finishings, there is a big difference, and that actually does make a big difference in the valuation of the home, which was confirmed by a city assessor a number of years ago, prior to the pandemic. I don't have the exact date, who indicated that the condition of the home and the finishings of the home was definitely not accurately represented in the assessed value, and that the model, because it was based on comparables in a neighborhood where people are seeking the finishes, is being overinflated to some degree. So I also noted from the Board of Revision documentation that I received that issues such as needing shingles, roofing, window replacement of worn carpet, flooring, etc., would be considered normal wear and tear and aging of a property, which presumably would be captured in the comparables. However, I think my issue is with the word normal, that in the true sense of the word, we're not a normal household. We had 11 children in the home, so the wear and tear is definitely not within the range of normal. So in terms of comparables, I obviously don't have access to the historical MLS data because I am not a realtor. So what I did, just to get a sense of what I would think my home should.
Isabel, can you just confine your questions on the assessor's presentation, and then you can go into your own
Oh, I see. Okay.
presentation.
So those were the questions I
Yeah.
had for her.
Thank you. Mr. Crouch, any questions for the assessor?
I have no questions.
Mr. Purvis, any questions for the assessor?
Were you able to inspect the home or go out to the home in person?
No, I did not, but I believe this home was inspected in 2015 by a staff member.
Okay, thank you.
That staff member told me that the model is overvaluing my home and that my job would be to call the city every time an assessment came out and point to that assessment that indicated the model is overinflating value.
Mr. Purvis, any other questions?
That's my only question. Thank you.
So this house was purchased in
July 2013.
I'll ask the assessor the question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. When do you have the record of the house being purchased, Mr. Cliffy?
I don't have a sales date. I have that there was a complete inspection done in 2015. The house was likely bought directly from the builder, so we don't have that information. The applicant could confirm that.
That's correct. It was bought directly from the builder.
Okay, so your valuation is based on that inspection as well? Is that correct?
Yes, that would be correct. It's based on yes, the attributes would have been done then, and then it's based on the comparable sales for this assessment period.
So South Point, all of these comparables are close by Cattail Cove, York Valley Way, Sunstone.
Those are the higher end roads.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get the answers from assessor.
Yes, the comparables are all in the same neighborhood.
And none of them are on retention ponds or anything,
No,
Okay.
that is correct.
or parking or adjacent to parks and things like that.
That is correct, yes.
So the only one that's not, doesn't have land influences that I guess you would consider negative, I suppose, is comparable number one.
That is correct, yes. Comparable 1 has no land influences. The rest, comparable 2, 3, and 4 have similar land influences to the subject.
The lot size is quite a bit less than the comparable 4. That, you agree with that?
Yes, I agree with that.
Is that factored into the value?
Yes, that is.
The comparison. And that's how you came up with 263 $666.24 a square foot.
For an assessment rule of 661, yes, and it is in the range of the comparables.
All those multiple garages are the same? Two
I
car,
have-
3 car?
I don't know specifically the square footage, but they're all attached multiple garages. So I would guess in this neighborhood, they are probably 2-car garages, maybe an oversized 2-car.
Okay, Ms. Applicant, you can begin your presentation.
Okay, thank you. I'll be brief. I mean, my points are really based on two things. So first of all, that any sort of summary number is going to be based on some sort of a range. And as I've indicated with my experience dealing with the builder and removing finishes, I saw firsthand what a big difference finishes makes in terms of the cost and valuation of a home. So that would be my first point, is that if you're using some sort of a range, whatever that range is based on, to generate a summary number, we would definitely be at the lowest end of the range. I can absolutely guarantee you, without seeing the comparables, that they have things like backsplashes in the kitchen, and our house went so bare bones, it doesn't even have that. The second point would be that the wear and tear is again going to be based on some sort of a normal expectation. And because of our large family size and the large number of children that have come through the home, the wear and tear would definitely be in the range of excessive. So those are just my two summary points. As I said, I don't have access to historical MLS data because I'm not a real estate agent. So the only way that I can get a sense of what I would think my home would be worth, which would be the number that, you know, I would generate to be for a sale, is to go to the publicly available HPI data, which is available through the MLS system. And when I took the numbers for December 2013, which is when I entered the home as a homeowner, to January 23, because I understand that this assessment period is not to today, but to the previous session, what I get is from the difference valuation of increase of 38%. And if I add that to my purchase price, it puts the true value of my home at around 600,000. So again, the limitation with the data that I'm looking at is that it's an average for the whole city, which I understand and I agree that South Point is in a different category in terms of sale. But again, in terms of lack of finishings and wear and tear, we are definitely on the low end of any range that you would look at.
Can you repeat that, that value that you had arrived at, please?
So I'm just looking at summary data from the HPI index for the MLS. So I understand based on the MLS website, the HPI uses more than 15 years of MLS system data and sophisticated statistical
Just
models.
the value that you have come to.
Okay, a 38% increase from my purchase price.
But you also gave a value of 600 something.
Yeah, so when I add the numbers together, my number that I generate is 601,000.
601.
Yeah. So again, without seeing the comparables that were used to judge the square footage valuation of my home, I can absolutely guarantee you that each and every single one of them will have attributes that would contribute value to a home that we do not have. The only thing we do have that is often lacking in comparables is a finished basement. But again, the compensation of increased value for a finished basement, when again, you detract the value due to excessive wear and tear. Again, my argument is simply that we should be on the lower end of the range instead of more the arithmetic mean, which is based on a range.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you for your time.
Ms. Kapovi, do you have any questions for the applicant? Oh, you can remain each other's questions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, I have to go to work soon.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Are you aware that your area, the average increase in your area was 12% for this reassessment cycle?
So again, I realize that the values are much greater in South Point compared to other neighborhoods. But my point is that my home is not a typical South Point home. And if I were to put it on the market, I would not realize.
Okay, I just need a simple yes or no. Thank you. And did you have any specific sales addresses that occurred from April 1st, 2021 to April 1st, 2023 that would support a lower value for your house?
So as I indicated, I don't have access to those data. The only thing I was able to find is a comparable that's for sale today for the price that my house is being valued at in the past, which is 661. So what 661 would buy me today, and I can give you the address right now if you like, is a
I
home.
don't need post-reference data if you don't have anything specific. Thank you.
I don't have access to
Just
those
want to
data.
I do want to let you know that the sales data is on the public website. It is public access.
I didn't see it. That's why I went to the HPI and used those numbers.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have no further questions.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I thought when I saw this that when it said 9 o'clock, mine would be at 9 o'clock. I have to go to work at 10. I apologize. I will be so quick. Can I please go next? I will be as quick. I promise I'll be much more. Sorry, I didn't realize that. I thought it's the first time. It was 9 o'clock. I thought it was
respect to all of us,
yeah.
all of us here, like I was
Okay.
at work. I brought.
Well, I'm not believing 10 regardless, so. Here.
The applicant there. We're still on this item.
Oh, I thought it was over. Sorry. Apologies.
We're gonna have to go, we have to go into recess. Okay.
I'm sorry, I thought you had called the next name, so I thought I was done.
No.
Sorry.
Mr. Purvis, any questions for the applicant?
No, I think they were covered in their presentation.
Mr. Gross?
Just for clarity, the finishes, which you're saying that you comparable to the other houses in your neighborhood, such as you had mentioned backsplashes, anything
I don't think
else?
you could find a comparable in my neighborhood. that
No, but what
had
are the finishes that were?
So, okay, so in terms of
So,
what I have,
Yeah, like what didn't you get? You said you didn't get a
Okay.
backsplash, for instance.
Yeah,
or
so
some other
we
things.
literally stripped out everything that was extra. So because our family was large, the only thing we wanted to pay for was space.
Mm.
So we took out, there was a supposed gas fireplace with bookshelf that was supposed to be there. There were pedestal sinks that were supposed to be in the home. The flooring, the paint, the countertops were all upgraded. We took all of that down. So when we went in with the builder to determine the finishes, the meeting was very simple. What's the lowest one you can give us on everything? So the carpet is quite worn. The vinyl that is throughout the home, I would describe it as being one step above paper. There's already tears throughout it. There was a defect in the windows. I've already replaced a lot of the windows. The windows were installed in 2012. And the reason I know that is because I'm dealing with a warranty issue that half the windows have leaked. The walls are 1/4 inch drywall. The kids lean on it. There's literally holes because it's one step above cardboard. So I mean, that's how bare bones we went on the finishings. Most people who live in South Point are not out for the space. And most people who live in South Point are out for the lifestyle. So things like fireplace, quartz countertop, the comparable that I found for this year, which I recognize is not directly comparable because of the time frame, advertises luxury flooring, marble countertops, fireplace. Even some of the more downgraded homes, once you get into the higher square footage, again, the people who are buying that are buying the finishes with it. They're not for the bare bones like we are. So this is just not typical. Again, I realize there's been an increase in value. It's just, again, based on the in-person visit as well as my own experience looking at comparables throughout the years. Even the assessor told me that because of the very big differences in finishing, the modeling that the city was using was consistently overinflating and would continue to overinflate into the future because of the fact that I'm being compared to people who are seeking a different lifestyle than what we have in the neighborhood.
And you had put or pegged that your finishes approximately $80,000.
If I recall, I don't like the number, I don't want to be quoted on because that's going back 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was in the range, like it was substantial. It made the difference between us being able to afford the home or not.
Thank you.
And again, I mean, I invite an in-person visit again if you want to do it. I'm perfectly okay with that.
And I have no questions. Anything in summary, Ms. Capletti?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property does fall within the range of the comparable sales. The comparable sales are built in the same period as the subject, and comparable 2 and 3 have no basement finish. And the range is within there, so I ask that the value of 661,000 be confirmed. Thank you.
Anything in summary?
So in summary, again, given the lifestyle that most people are seeking in South Point, and as well the number of people that are typically housed in a home in South Point, I think people would more likely pay for a fireplace and marble and high finishing floors than they would pay for a finished basement, especially one that is in the condition of mine.
Okay, thank you. Having heard all the evidence for this item, then that concludes 31 Cattail Cove. And all you take.
Sorry, it's just class and 45 minutes I need to be in. Thank you for your time, and I'm sorry for dashing off so quickly. I didn't mean to be rude.
Not at all.
Thank you.
Paul Sanders.
Thank you, I apologize, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, first.
Mr. Sanders, please state your full name.
Paul Smith Sanders,
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, our next item is going to be item 12 then, 35 Langdale Way. And is a application for revision of assessed value. Ms. Kaplevy, you may begin presentation, please.
Okay, just a second. We're going out of order now. I have to get to that. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is 0309114860. It is 35 Langdon Way. It is in the neighborhood of White Ridge. It is a 2-story single dwelling built in 2002 with 1,529 square feet. It has a full basement and basement finish. It has 2 full baths, 1 half bath. It has central air conditioning, 1 fireplace, and a multiple attached garage. The lot size is 4,596 square feet. All the comparables are in the same neighborhood, White Ridge. All are 2-story single dwellings built between 1992 to 2002. All have full basements with basement finishes. And the square footage ranges from 1,397 square feet to 1,629 square feet. Comparable 2 has a total of 3 bathrooms. Comparable 1, 3, and 4 have a total of 4 bathrooms. All comparables have central air conditioning. Comparables 1 and 4 have a fireplace. All comparables have an attached multiple garage. The lot sizes of the comparables range from 3,955 square feet to 4,406 square feet. The time adjusted sales prices range from 482,000 to 515,000. The time adjusted sales price per square foot is $304 to $345. The assessment of the subject property is $486,000, which is a total assessment per square foot of $317.85. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Sanders, any question for the assessor on her presentation?
Yes, I don't have access to the increase, the increase from April 1st, 2021 to April 1st, 2023 for Fort Gayer, that area. Can you please provide that?
The average increase in your area was 12%.
That's helpful, thank you. Didn't have that. What's the, I look at comp 3 and it shows the sales price in July of 2021, which is quite close to the 2020, April 1st, 2021 date. And so it has a price per square foot of $325, and then the time adjusted is $345. What's the increase between, so almost the 2 years, pretty close. What's the increase percentage that you applied to get from $325 to $345, and what is that percentage?
The time adjustments, the modelers do, it's behind the scenes data, and we take the sales from April 1st, 2021 to April 1st, 2023. So they found that in this neighborhood, the sales prices increased from 2021 to 2023, April 1st. So that's why it does show an adjustment there. And then you would find that sales in 2022 would have decreased to the sales to the
Thank you.
reference.
Can you answer my question? What's the increase? I have the percentage, but I can say it, but it's 6%. So, and this is almost, I think, 4 months off the April, so almost the 2-year percentage, almost the 2-month full change, and the increase that you brought up to from 325 to 345 is 6%. And I'm gonna ask the same question for comp 4, which is May 10th, 2021. So that's almost 1 month difference of the full 2-year period. So we're talking 23 months, which the full valuation is 24 from April 1st, 21 to April 1st, 2023. And so it was sold then, and then it was brought up to that April 1st, 2023 of 316. So the increased percentage that was applied from $290.91 to 316.21 is 8.5 or 8.6%. So it was applied in 8.5 or 8.6% on the one, and it was applied at 6% on the other. If you want to confirm those numbers, you can, but those are the increases that were applied. And just this nice comparables. I'm glad these comparables are brought into evidence, especially 3 and 4, because it will bolster my case when I talk about mine as well. But I just wanted to thank you. That's all.
The assessments would be based on more than 2 comparable sales. So if you figured out the percentages, then you are correct. But we load thousands and thousands of sales data into the model, and that's how the modelers come up with the 12% increase for the 2 years. And you're actually right at 12.5%. So you're exactly at the average increase.
Yeah, so again, the comparables that you'll be talking about, why my price, you applied a 6% again for almost the exact same period on one, and you provided 8.5% increase. And it's nice the comparables because they're right at very close to the April 1st, 2021, and then obviously the April 1st, 2023. So I just want to make sure to compare it's on record there that they applied those in percent increases. And those are the comparables that we're talking about today that we're bringing about to justify my increase, which I'll get to in a second. So thank you.
There's there's hundreds of comparables that we use to your property. I just picked 4 that were comparable with your property.
Gotcha. So, okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kraus, any questions for the assessor?
No, I have no questions, thank you.
Mr. Purvis, any questions for the assessor?
I don't have any questions.
And I have no questions. Therefore, Mr. Paul Sanders, you can begin your presentation.
Thank you, and I'll be quick. So basically, as we talked about, the assessment on April 1st, 2023 was April 1st, 2021 was 432,000. 2 years later, April 1st, the proposed value is 486,000. That's a year-over-year increase of 13%. When I looked at sales in that area, there has happened to be a sale made on my street, 43 Langdale Way. I submitted this into evidence. It basically is off the website. It provides the sales data, so it's been provided. And when I look at page, I think it's 50 or 51, 43 Langdale Way, really good opportunity could happen that they sold it twice. They sold it first. They sold it. I'm just got the exact date here. They sold it in April. They sold in April 2021 at 540,000. So again, right at the beginning of the previous property assessment, and then they sold it again on the same street, right down the street, on December of 2022. So like 3 or 4 months from that. So very again, as I was talking about before, almost that exact 2-year time frame, the difference. So same house sold 2 times, almost within the 24 months we're talking about, and the increase of that price was 7%. Next, I just looked, again, I didn't have the overall, so that's good to know in the region. I just looked at overall for Winnipeg. And the other evidence I submitted was a document that provided the MLS sales price for Winnipeg, and it was 5%. So again, looking at 7, looking at 5, the evidence that was provided for the comparables, the ones that had that exact same or very close to that 2-year time frame that we're talking about was 6 and 8.5 or 8.6 to be exact. So you're seeing a rate range all within the 5 to 6 to 7 to 8%. So in conclusion, my recommendation is that my house should have a 6% increase on the April 1st, 2023 house value. So that would apply 6% on what it was on 2021 or what was valued at would be 455,000. So applying a 6% increase. And that again, based on what I provided and the comparables provided. Thank you.
Ms. Levy, any questions for the applicant?
No, I do not.
Mr. Purvis, any questions?
I'm just looking for that house on your street that you referenced that was sold twice. You've provided 98 pages of sales data. Can you direct me to which page?
Yeah, and the email I provided, it said page 51.
51?
Yeah, 50 or 51, yeah. And you can see right at the top there on page 50. It's region 8. Where is it? Yeah.
What's your address again? Sorry.
43 Langdale Way.
Page 51.
51 and 50.
51, and I got 51 and 188. There's.
Langdale.
Wait, that's
Oh,
really
yeah,
heights.
it's on, if you look at the bottom left hand.
Okay, you're the way you said most of it.
And it's at the top of 50, and it's 43 Langdale, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Have you been in that property or?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
And you haven't seen like the MLS listing, like any photos of that property or?
No, I'm not.
43 Langdale.
I printed it off here if you want to copy it.
Yeah.
Find it.
Okay. That's my question. I just wanted to see the, you'd reference it and I just wanted to find the sales data for it.
For sure, makes sense.
There you go. All right. Mr. Kraus, any questions?
No.
I have no questions. Ms. Levy, anything in summary?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. For this reassessment, we look at the 2-year period and the modelers determined that it was a 12% increase. The homeowner did mention one sale that had a 7% increase, but on average it was 12. And comparables 1, 2, 3, and 4 definitely support the assessment of 486,000. It is within the range of those 4 comparables, and I ask that that value be confirmed. Thank you.
Mr. Sanders, anything in summary?
No, I think I was pretty clear on basically saying that the comparable shows 7, average is 5. The comparables provided that 3 and 4 had a 6 and 8%. They literally applied a 6 and 8% to a sale that was made almost on April 1st, 2021. So that would just confirm that my recommendation of around 5 to 6% increase is the rates increase.
Can you restate the amount that you were seeking? For the
Yes, absolutely. $455,000. Approximately a 6% increase from the April 1st, 2021.
Okay, thank you. Having
Thanks,
heard all the evidence for item 1235 Langdale Way, that matter is now concluded. And thank you everyone on Zoom and everyone on the
Yes.
room for for letting Mr. Sanders go. We appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, appreciate it, thank
Thank
you, bye. Have a good day.
The next item on our docket then is item 387 Windflower. This is an application for revision of assessed value. Ms. Graywood, can you please swear in the applicant?
Mr. Rana, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect. Can you turn your video on as well?
Yes.
Oh, there you are. Perfect. All right, can I get you to state your full name?
Oh, my full name is Isma Rana.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I'm sorry?
Do you affirm the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Kaplevy, you may begin your presentation.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is 0309-299-5375. It is an address of 87 Windflower Road. It is in the Bridgewater Trails neighborhood. It is a two-story single dwelling built in 2023. It has 2,321 square feet. It has a walkout basement, no basement finish. It has two bathrooms, two full bathrooms, one half bath, and one shower. It has central air conditioning, one fireplace, and an attached multiple garage. The assessed lot size is 10,138 square feet. It has the influence of a retention pond and a walkway. Comparables 1 to 4 are all similar in the same neighborhood, and one is beside in South Point. All the comparables are 2 stories built between 2018 to 2023. All comparables have a walkout basement, same as the subject. Comparable 4 has basement finish. The square footage of the comparables range from 2,120 square feet to 2,494 square feet. Comparables 1 to 3 have 3 bathrooms total. Comparable 4 has 4 bathrooms total. Comparable 1, 2, and 4 have central air conditioning. Comparable 2, 3, and 4 each have a fireplace. All the comparables have an attached multiple garage. The lot sizes of the comparables range from 5,556 square feet to 10,278 square feet. The land influences of the comparables are retention pond adjacent or retention pond influence. The time adjusted sales prices of the comparables range from $806,000 to $913,000. The time adjusted sales price per square foot ranges from $326 to $431. The subject property has an assessment roll value of $795,000, which is $342.52 per square feet. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Rana, do you have any questions for the assessor on her presentation?
No, I have no question. Actually, she is completely right. My main concern, actually, the house I built and the
Do
price.
you have any other questions? That you'll be able to do your presentation after you get your question.
No,
Okay,
no.
thank you. Mr. Purvis, any questions?
I just want to confirm that there's a subject sale here. I'm assuming that was for the bare lot. The 174.9, 6.
Yes, that was.
Okay, Mr. Gross?
Just the difference between a retention pond influence and a retention pond adjacent. You can just clarify that for me?
Adjacent means that it backs right onto it. Influence, they may not have a perfect view of it. They have, yeah.
And difference, like which would be valued higher in terms of like the adjacent would be valued higher?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Does the majority of the area? Does the majority of the area have retention pond influence or not? Or is not on the pond? What would be your?
Sorry, I didn't
Okay,
get the question.
most of the properties in that area, Bridgewater Trails. Are they on, do they have a retention pond influence or do most of them not have it?
Well, the comparables I used, I compared the retention pond adjacent or retention pond influence. And this subject property is actually adjacent, but it's at the very, very end. So it's got a very small bit of the retention pond. So that's why we use the influence and not the adjacent.
Yeah, I guess the point of my question was, does being on the retention pond, whether it's adjacent or influence, does that make it unique to the rest of the area? If you have
That would be an increase of value, that the property would certainly be more valuable than a property that would not be on a pond.
If you had the same property on the retention pond and one that was a block away that wasn't on the retention pond, everything the same, what would be the difference in price?
Oh, I don't know specifically the difference in price. The one that was not on the retention pond would be worth less. I don't have that sales information in front of me.
Okay, I have no further questions then. Oh, sorry, do you want to say something?
Oh, for my comparables, I compared apples with apples in terms of the retention pond influence. I didn't look at properties that were not on the retention pond. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Rana, you may begin your presentation.
So, I mean, the house we purchased last year, and the house actually we built, the agreement was 2020. So I believe it was actually a little bit overpriced compared to other house. I sent several property tax paper to you guys, probably compared to that, probably slightly. I believe that it should not be more than $326 per square feet. That is my main concern, nothing else.
You mentioned a figure there. Sorry, what was the figure you mentioned? 326?
Yeah, I believe $326 would be better for my house.
Per square foot? No.
Yes.
Mr. Plevy, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Yes, Mr. What are you basing that 326 square foot on?
I mean, I see in Winfloor area there is other house. I mean, $315 to $326. Even some houses are $342. Yes.
Do you have any specific addresses to support that?
So if you
Like
see
in
that,
your evidence here, you provided you compared assessments, and your assessments were in different neighborhoods. You did not look at any sales directly in your neighborhood.
no, I know, I understand. So I was not looking to neighborhood. I was looking surrounding Winnipeg.
But when there's sales in your neighborhood, why wouldn't you use sales specifically in your neighborhood?
We are discussing about our house and land, not about the neighborhood. That was my
The neighborhood definitely contributes to the value. You're telling me now that a neighborhood in Point Douglas doesn't matter compared with a neighborhood in Bridgewater? We look at
No, I'm not gonna arguing with you that you are completely fine. So I was thinking, if you make it 326, that would be actually better for me to, agree this property tax if you are able to. So if you see the property address at 361 Winfloor Road, that house actually $300 a square feet. that is assessed $475, 475,000, and a square feet
Mr. Rana,
was
we can't use assessments in comparison. Can't use other assessments, okay?
okay.
So if you have any sales information in your area, you know, you might want to bring that forward.
No,
Sales.
I do not have any information about those sales price in our neighborhood area. No.
Okay. Any more questions, Ms. Kaplevy?
No, I do not. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Kraus?
I have no questions, thank you.
Mr. Purvis?
Just want to confirm, you're saying it should be valued at $326 a square foot. My math says that's about $757,000. Is that sort of the number that you were thinking?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay. That's my only question. I just wanted to make sure that we're doing the same math.
Hey, Mr. Rona, the 326 per square foot. Where did you get that number from? How did you arrive at 326 square foot?
Actually, I did not analyze this properly. I mean, before I came here, I thought like it would be the best price for me, the house I have it.
It was the best number for your house.
Yes, I
What did
think.
you base that on? What kind of science did you base that on?
Like I did not analyze this through our bridge order area. I was analysis through other area of city. Now I realize actually I should analysis before I come bridge order, because I did not analyze anything through our neighborhood area. So basis on the paper you guys sent to me, I think it is better if you guys make it $326 per square feet for my house. That will be good for me. If not, then I don't have any other option.
I have no further questions. Ms. Kaplevy, anything in summary?
No, thank you.
Mr. Rana, anything in summary?
No, that's it.
Okay, having heard all the evidence for this item, 87 Windflower is then concluded.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Rana. You may go.
Yep, thank you very much. You have a great day.
You too.
Bye, everyone.
We have a Zoom now.
Yes. Yes. Mr. Noiko, can you hear us? Are you there? Mr. Noiko, can you hear us? Are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
We're here.
Perfect. Okay, I'm just going to swear you in here. Can I get, I guess we'll start with you, Mr. Noiko. Can you state your full name?
My full name?
Full name, yeah.
Uche Nwankwo.
Perfect. And do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
1 second, so he needs to turn up the other one.
Do you want to join me? No. Okay, you can join there.
Okay, sir, can I get you to affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah, I'll affirm that.
Thank you. And is Victoria also going to be speaking?
Yes.
Yeah, she.
Yes, okay, I'm gonna have to affirm her as well. Is she gonna- Okay, perfect.
Here I am, sorry.
I don't need this.
Ms. Uche Nwaiko, can you state your full name?
My full name is Uche Nwankwo.
Sorry, I'll need Victoria to state her full name.
My full name is Victoria Uche Nwankwo.
Perfect. And do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move to item number 4, 12 Bankfield Crescent. So we have a preliminary matter to deal with on this property. That is the evidence received from the applicant was received a day late. So the panel is going to have to go in camera and consider whether we will accept that evidence. So we will do so now. Okay, the panel has considered the matter of the late evidence and has decided that we will allow the evidence. And we will hear the presentation in total.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
So, yeah, item 4. You may begin your presentation, Ms. Kaplevy. Oh, you're muted.
You, is that me?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is 030929886160. It is 12 Bankfield Crescent. It is in the neighborhood of Bridgewater Trails. It is a 2-story single dwelling built in 2015 and has 1,638 square feet. It has a full basement with basement finish. It has 3 full baths, 1 half bath. It has central air conditioning. It has an assessed lot of 3,776 square feet. The land influence of back lane and commercial adjacent are noted. Comparables 1 through 4 are all in the same neighborhood. They are all 2 stories built between 2015 and 2018. The square footage ranges between 1,504 square feet to 1,644 square feet. All the comparables have full basement and basement finish. Comparable 2 and 4 each have 3 bathroom total. Comparables 1 and 3 have 4 bathrooms total. All have central air conditioning, and comparable 2 has a fireplace. The lot sizes of the comparables range from 3,778 square feet to 4,344 square feet. Comparable 1 and 4 have a backlane influence. Comparable 3 has the additional light traffic and park influence. Comparable 2 also has a bus route, commercial adjacent, external corner, and medium traffic influence. The time adjusted sales prices of the comparables range from $487,000 to $509,000. The time adjusted sales price per square foot is $299.70 to $324. The subject property has a 2025 assessment roll value of $475,000, which is $289.99 per square foot. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Nobonko, do you have any questions for the assessor?
Not for now.
Okay, Mr. Kraus?
I just noticed the comparable number 2 is almost directly beside the subject, correct? It's like 1 over, and the difference between the square foot you've got between the 2 adjusted is $10 per square foot, $299 versus $289 approximately. Is that correct? Yeah. So yes. And so is my question, I guess, is the reduction, like in all other aspects, are almost equal. And is it just that the commercial, that it's commercially adjacent, the subject is commercially adjacent, that warrants the drop in that square footage, or are there other issues that you know of? Sorry, it's a really rambling question. I apologize.
Hopefully I got the gist of that. I mean, comparable to it is based on the sales price.
Sorry,
So
comparable one comparable one compared to the subject, there's only a $10 difference. And it looks like one of the only differences that the subject is next to a commercial. And I'm just trying to understand if that's what has influenced the drop primarily influenced the drop in the per square footage.
the commercial adjacent would have a negative. I'm blanking out, sorry. Yeah, negative influence, sorry.
Do you know what is it, and commercial, that can be anything, or is it like a strip mall, or do we know?
You know what? I'm sorry, I don't have that information.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Purvis?
I had some questions regarding that commercial adjacent as well. I mean, I understand you don't know if it's a office building or a strip mall, but it would be like, it's not, schools are separate from commercial, or a church wouldn't be considered commercial, right? Like,
Okay, yeah, to answer your question, school is coded differently. It's as a school. And this actually, just looking now, it is a apartment building that is the commercial influence in this property.
apartment, okay.
Yeah.
That was my only question.
I don't have any questions. All been asked and answered. Therefore, Mr. and Mrs. Nwankwo, you can begin your presentation.
All right, thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank you for the time and for considering our evidence that was sent. So we're consigned with the assessment based on, we're focusing primarily on the house that is closer to us on our street, which is 4 Bankfield Crescent. Apart from the fact that it is a corner lot with a bigger lot size and a lot of upgrade. Our house were already up by the time we bought it, so we didn't have the chance to have a lot of, any say in that. And it was sold to us in a way that we later kind of found out that it wasn't, everything wasn't done properly for us. We kind of actually regretted it. So the house is situated in a bigger lot. And we also feel that the COVID-19 pandemic influenced price of houses that was sold around that time, because there was a bidding war and a speculative buying, etc. So at that point of that assessment was flawed by that circumstances around that side. The house we're looking at is also had a lot of upgrade fireplace compared to ours that doesn't have a fireplace. And yeah, so a countertop, which we didn't have. And when you talk about the commercial property, it's actually directly opposite the condos. I mean, the townhouse is directly opposite to our own house, and it makes it difficult to find a parking space, especially when we have visitors or and friends coming around the area. So just difficult in finding a parking space, and that influences also when people are buying homes. They look at this where it is situated. And talk about the commercial property that's not developed there. So all that entire street is difficult to find parking space. So these are some of the things that made us to appeal for this evaluation that is a little bit skewed in terms of there's a lot of parameters that were not put into, that were not considered when our home was valued. The upgrades, the situation, where it is situated, and that's part of our appeal reasons.
And if I can add to that, like, based on what he said, we bought this house when it had already been set up. There was, everything we got was standard. We didn't have a chance to do any upgrades at that time in our lives. We had a growing family and all that. And that's where it's been. I've been in the comparable number 4 Bankfield. They have marble countertops. We had just the regular one. They have the fireplace. and the backsplash in their kitchen, we didn't get a chance to have any of that. I don't believe the two are like exactly comparable. They have a deck, which we do not have as well. Their frontage is more beautiful
Enclosed.
or
It's
presentable
enclosed
than
front
ours.
edge.
And honestly, I don't think anybody will buy our house at 475 if we had to put it in the market right now.
Yeah, so their entrance is covered, but our entrance is open, and they have a stone on their lawn, so which also adds to the cost. Actually, we had to our entrance had just those it wasn't we had to pay for
Slabs.
yeah,
Yes.
it only had a slab, so we had to pay for it to be done the same way theirs was done. So all those added to even extra costs, which are things that we could have negotiated. I mean, if we started the house from the beginning, and the other people had opportunity to negotiate that, but we didn't, because it was already almost finished.
Is that your presentation then?
Yes, sir.
It is.
Okay, Ms. Kaplevy, do you have any questions for the applicants?
Yes, I do. Thank you. You note for Bankfield Crescent there, which I used as one of my comparables. You would agree that it has more negative land influences than your property, correct?
Can you explain that? I don't understand how it has a negative.
Your property has back lane and commercial adjacent. This one also has back lane, bus route, commercial adjacent, external corner, and medium traffic. Those are negative land influences. So
Okay,
that would be less valuable than your property.
probably I may not see it that way, but you are the expert. But it being directly to the bus stop makes it easier for the children to catch a bus when they're going to school, and they don't have to wait a long time outside. So they can actually see the bus coming. And like I said, it has a bigger lot, so they'll do more gardening, and they have more space for play for the children to play. Ours is directly opposite to the townhouse compared to their apartment compared to theirs. So for me, that's a negative. Maybe what you look at negative might be not perceived that way for me. So, but
And
you are
it's
the expert,
fenced as
and
well.
it's fenced as well. So ours is not fenced.
Okay, thank you. And again, for Bankfield Crescent, it is smaller than your house, correct?
In terms of the living space,
Yes.
well, slightly. It was the difference, because we're looking, the difference is not much. Again,
134 square feet.
the
Okay,
difference.
thank you. Yeah,
Oh.
if you see there. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Mr. Kraus, any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, the condo that is behind your house, how many?
The what?
Can you come
Can you
again?
repeat? Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
Can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me? I think you're muted.
Okay, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I can hear you, but I can't hear anyone in the boardroom.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I guess they are network.
I think it's frozen.
Where do you want to ask a question?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, they're coming back. They kicked them. Just give them a moment.
Okay.
Muted now.
But Boardroom, are you reconnected? Because couldn't hear you.
We just have to wait for Ms. Graywood to restart the YouTube connection as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll probably have to leave because I have another engagement at 10:30.
We won't be much longer because the
Yeah,
board panel members, we get to ask you some questions, then you and Ms. Clevey both get to give a summation, and then you'll be done.
all right. Thank you, sir.
Ms. Graywood, you're still muted on the boardroom B. You can hear us fine, right, Ms. Clevey?
Yes, I can.
So it's just them.
Yeah.
Which is two of the three panel members, so they can proceed without me. But oh, they're unmuted.
Okay.
Okay, we'll have to wait till Ms. Graywood returns.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Kraus, can you repeat your question, please?
I'm just wondering about the commercial building that's behind your property. How many stories tall is it?
The
I
commercial.
think it's three.
Or the part of the
Like
condo?
it has 1, 2, 3 or 4 blocks of it, like
Of
3-story building,
Okay.
but there are like four different, I don't know, they have different units.
Okay.
345, 365, 375, if I'm not mistaken. With a clubhouse or an office building.
And then my other question is, you mentioned 71 Bankfield, that it was sold. Do you know how much it was sold for?
We don't have that info. We don't really know for sure, but
think
we're
it should-
talking about, we're referring mostly to number 4 Bankfield because it's next door to
Next
us.
door, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Those are my questions.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Mr. Purvis, any questions?
Yeah, and this is probably just on me. I missed what you said, what your value would be on the house, on your house.
It was evaluated at 475, and that's
Yeah, it's
what
evaluated but what do you guys think it should be?
Actually, I mean, I don't want to quote a figure, but we sure that it is the valuation was higher than the market value.
Yeah, I don't believe it's up to 400.
It's not up to 470 that's valued. So that's just our contention. Do we have a figure that we check with maybe with the sellers? No, we don't. But we're only focusing on the fact that it was valued higher than. Especially during the time and at the same time with the point that we mentioned compared to the one that they used to value it. I mean, too much.
Okay. That's my only question.
And I have no further questions. Mr. Levy, anything in summary?
Yes, thank you. Since the applicants do mention comparable for Bankfield Crescent, I used it as one of my comparables. It is smaller in size and it does have more negative land influences, and that value definitely supports the assessment of 475,000. The per square foot value on 4 Bankfield is higher than the subject property, so I ask that the assessment value of 475,000 be confirmed. Thank you.
Mr. and Mrs. Nwanko, anything in summary?
Yeah, thank you so much once again. Again, perception differs, and the parameters that the assessor used because she's talking about the negative impact of where the two houses are situated. On the contrary, what she sees as a negative impact, we see as a positive impact. So again, it varies based on perception, but we are basing ours also on facts and figures in terms of what the other house is. When you talk about this square footage of the living area is slightly smaller than ours. However, in the overall, that lot is situated in a bigger lot, or the home is there in a bigger lot, and it has a lot of advantages, upgrades, and things that will make a buyer more appealing compared to ours. The countertops, fireplace, deck. The deck is big with storage, a lot of storage, and a lot of upgrades. Stone, backslash, and then the lawn also well maintained with the stone. So those are the things that increases the values of a house compared to our own.
So we appeal for.
So we appeal
a
for
reduction in
reduction. And thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Having heard all the evidence for this property, item number 412, Bankfield Crescent is concluded, and thank you very much for your presentation. You may leave.
Thank you.
All right, have a nice day and nice weekend.
Thank you. Also going to do next one.
That would be Mr. Theo. Yes.
We are going to proceed now to item number 5, 154 Edge Park Crescent. This is an application for revision of assessed value. Ms. Gravely, would you please swear in the applicant?
Can you state your full name?
My name is John Kun Out.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Plevy, you may begin your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is 0309-299-5055. It is at 154 Edge Park Crescent. It is in the neighborhood of Bridgewater Trails. It is a 2-story single dwelling built in 2022. It has a living area of 2,408 square feet. It has a full basement. It has 3 full bathrooms and 1 extra shower. It has an attached multiple garage. The assessed lot size is 4,445 square feet. Comparables 1 through 4 are in the same neighborhood. They are all 2-story single dwellings built between 2019 and 2022. All comparables have full basement and no basement finish, same as the subject. Comparables 1, 3, and 4 have 3 bathrooms total. Comparable 2 has 4 bathrooms total. Comparable 1, 2, and 4 have central air conditioning. Comparable 1, 2, and 3 have a fireplace. All comparables have an attached multiple garage. The assessed lot sizes ranges from 4,445 square feet to 5,501 square feet. Comparable 3 has a land influence of a walkway. The time-adjusted sales prices range from $601,000 to $685,000. The time-adjusted sales price per square foot is $275 to $290 per square foot. The subject property has an assessment roll value of $630,000, which is $261.63 per square foot. Thank you.
Mr. Applicant, do you have a question on the assessor's presentation?
No.
Mr. Kraus, any questions?
Do we have a percentage, or do you have a percentage of in this neighborhood what the increase is on average?
This increase is also 12% on
12%.
average.
That's all.
Mr. Purvis, any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, I look at comparable one. Sale was late 2022. And time adjusted sale price went down from 670 to 651. Correct?
Correct, 651,900. So it would be rounded to 652,000, correct?
So from that time period to the reference date, the prices were going down in this neighborhood.
That is correct, yes.
Okay, this subject property was sold in February 1st of 2022 for $555,844, which is about a month and a half later than the comparable one was sold. However, that is an increase from 555 to 630,000 in the assessment. How does it go is that much higher?
That's correct. That's a first time sale. So the sale price is often agreed upon pre-construction or months prior to possession. So it's not a true indication of market value. It does not meet the definition of market value. That sales price from a builder may or may not also include GST. It may or may not include upgrades. It usually does not include site improvements such as landscaping, fencing, driveways.
Okay, that's when it was built, was 2022.
That's when the residents moved in. So there is a time lag from when the contract was signed, and then there's months that it takes to build it. So this price was probably negotiated in 2021.
I have no further questions then. Mr. Applicant, you may begin your presentation.
Okay. Thank you all today. It's regarding for the 154 H Park Crescent. So we go to compare to another 3 property for 43, 47, and 67 H Park Crescent is the same row on my neighborhood. Their value assets is around like $631,000. Both in front they have a park like with a parkway and walk path crosses a back lane, and both enjoy land, so it's around like 44.20 foot. Popular living area is the same area, 47 H Park Crescent. It's a 2,170.
Mr. Up,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to
Sorry.
interrupt you.
Yeah.
So these properties that you're comparing here, you're comparing the assessed value of those properties?
Yes.
We do not consider that evidence.
Okay.
You must have sales information. about
Yeah,
the
I got the
properties.
sale market relate to on the treatment.
It's further down.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you can limit your discussion to those sales rather than
Sure.
comparing
Sure.
adjustments, that would then we can.
Yeah. So for the okay, let me see. Okay, on the sales market, we on the 2023. So I was submit on the website. It's around the value is a 555 and 84.43. And right now compare the size to between the inference. So around like all that like $20,000 for 353 square feet. So it's over cost like for the total value cost for the house is a 377.36 per square feet. So if like the value is go up to 12%, so it's around like 600 tell around like so it should be around like 230.83 per square feet. Yeah. That's what I got today. I'm sorry.
Give us a moment, okay?
Okay.
You said you had compared some sales in the area. So can you point me to where those sales are in your presentation?
I have the paperwork here, so you can take a look. I circle it, so I can easy to.
Well, you can't do that because the
Oh, okay.
assessor can't see it, so and it wasn't submitted.
It is submitted.
It is submitted?
Yeah,
Yeah, if you go down a little bit more, there you go, and then keep.
all the document I submitted.
He's got it highlighted.
Yeah.
If you keep going,
Am I again?
yeah, keep going down, there you go.
Okay, Ms. Kaplivi, any questions for the applicant?
Just one there, Mr. Applicant, you do talk about 6 Edge Park Crescent here in your brief that you mentioned, but again, you're comparing an assessment, not an actual sale of that property, correct?
Yes, because the neighborhood just where we will move in is live there, they built in between like 2019 to 2021. So just 1 years. But when we move in 2022, we don't have a fancy, we don't have air conditioner, we don't have fireplace in the house. So
Thank you. You answered my
you.
question. You were looking at the assessment, not as, it did not occur in this reference period sale.
okay.
I have no further questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Purvis? Any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, again, sorry, I'm just looking at the sales data that you've got in your submission. Of the ones from 2022, are there, like, I'm just at, you know, the houses in the area, are there any that are more similar to yours? I mean, I know a lot of houses that sort of, you know, there'll be a match of your house elsewhere. Are there any there that are sort of the same house?
Not in that area. I believe is like in that area they have same house, but for the Bridgewater Trail is last on that corner. They don't have a similar one, but in another side of the east side they have a 2 similar one. But I didn't on that time I take out the property. That time I don't know they selling or they how much they sell. I don't have the number for that.
And just want to confirm as well, you don't have air conditioning?
I do not have air conditioning on that time, but we do on this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've installed it now, but not prior to.
Yes.
That's my questions.
Mr. Kraus?
Is there a sales or a value that you put on your house that like you come in? Cause the assessor has it as 630. And what are you hoping for? I don't know that I've seen that.
I hoping for is like, because of like, we don't think it's like more than like $20,000. On the the value is around like 60, like 610 around. So that's what we are hoping for. But it's like, I think it's a 630 that is overvalue for the assessment.
And I think Mr. Purvis was, I think what he was trying to get, and I don't know, is there one property that you would, in your sales here, you've got like from 111 or number 2 Edge Park Crescent all the way to 159 Edge Park Crescent? Is there a property that you would say is the best comparable of those in your sales?
I don't know how much, because I don't know how much they sell with the house on that time, but they was put up the market is around like 670 or something like that. It's a high value, but I don't know how much they sold.
Right.
But I mean, like, I cannot compare that house because they finished basement, they have fireplace, they have everything accessory in the house, but we don't at that time. So I cannot to compare the sale value between on the land or what they have in the inside the house. So,
Right, but so you've got your 10 properties or 12 properties that you've highlighted.
Yes,
Right,
because
so you've got,
I
for instance,
compare,
exactly, so is there
Okay.
one of those properties that you would say that we should look at as the best comparable? to
yeah,
your
because
property?
there is,
Which one though?
oh, which one?
Do you know, do you have one specifically that you would suggest?
Because the same land that would be looking for is Edge Park 6. But if you're looking for the bigger land or,
But it has to be a sale, so Edge Park 6, I don't see
but
it
they
as
don't
sale.
sell, but they
Okay,
don't
but
sell.
I'm looking for it, so I can only look at sales.
The sale, I think is 60, oh, sorry, I don't know that one, is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 down of the house, they was sold on this last year.
And which number is it on Edge Park Crescent?
I don't see the 41 or 42, I don't
Okay, so I don't have that information in front of
know.
Okay.
Because I don't know you guys compare to the sale. That is the, like, I didn't have the number in hand. Yeah, I'm sorry.
me. Okay, yes, thank you.
Okay. And I have no questions. Anything in summary, Ms. Levy?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to summarize that the property is reflected in its current conditions, so the air conditioning actually adds to the value. My comparables 1 through 4 support the property value, and comparable 1 through 3 are actually on the same street of Edge Park Crescent. So the assessment of 630 falls within the range of the comparables, and I ask that that value be confirmed. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything in summary, Mr. O?
I don't have a summary. Like but I mean, like, we're looking for, because I think is depend the square feet for the house is like, compared to another house in the square feet, because it is $20,000 is compared to 53 square feet, so it's like high value for me to pay like 53 square feet for the house. That's what we compare to, but I didn't know like compared to the sale market or something like that. But I compare to the square feet of the house or the land, like that what we're looking for the assessment. Is if we're looking for the market for assessment, I think the value is different than different market to sell. So that's why I compare to the land and compare to the size of the house. So I think it's for 20,000 to pay for 53 square feet between the house. I think that is a huge market.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Ben. Having heard all the evidence for this property. Item number 5, 154 Edge Park Crescent is now concluded. And thank you very much for your presentation, Mr. Al.
Thank you.
You may leave. So item number 6, we do not have an applicant present. So we are going to put that at the end of the docket. And that is item after item 16. So we are almost 2 hours in. I think we need to take at least a 5-minute recess for a break. Okay, we are back in order. Next item is item number 7, 163 Valley Brook Road. This is an application for revision of assessed value. Ms. Graywood, can you please swear in the applicant? Applicants.
You, Mr. Wróblewski?
Врублевский.
Wróblewski. Can I get you to state your full name?
Вадим Врублевский.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may be seated. And Ms. Inglis,
Yes,
can you state your full name?
Leslie Christine Ingalls.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. It's you.
Okay, Ms. Kaplevy, you may begin your presentation.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is 0309-300-2400, 163 Valley Brook Road. It is in Bridgewater Trails. It is a 2-story single dwelling built in 2021. It has 2,858 square feet with a walkout basement and basement finish. It has a total of 5 bathrooms, 3 full baths, 2 half baths, and 2 extra showers. It has central air conditioning, 1 fireplace, and an attached multiple garage. It has an assessed lot size of 11,628 square feet and has the influence of retention pond adjacent. Comparables 1 through 4 are all in the same neighborhood, Bridgewater Trails. They are all 2 stories, single dwellings built between 2021 to 2023. All the comparables have a walkout basement, same as the subject. The square footage of the comparables range from 2,494 square feet to 2,865 square feet. Comparables 1 and 2 have basement finish. Comparable 1 has 3 full baths, 1 half bath, 1 shower. Comparable 2 has 1 full bath, 3 half baths, 3 showers. Comparable 3 has 3 full baths, 1 shower. And comparable 4 has 2 full baths, 1 half bath, and 1 shower. All comparables have central air conditioning. Comparables 1, 2, and 3 have a fireplace. All comparables have an attached multiple garage. The lot sizes of the comparables range from 9,448 square feet to 13,354 square feet. Comparable 2 has retention pond influence. The other 3 are the same as the subject, retention pond adjacent. The time adjusted sales price of the comparables are $893,000 to $1,121,000. This is a time adjusted sales price per square foot of $311.62 to $391.72. The subject property has an assessed roll value of $995,000, which is a total assessment of $348.15. There was a sale in August 1st, 2021, and the time adjusted sales price would be $759,000. After that sale, there was a permit taken out to add basement finish. And during our residential review program, we did review this assessment and we did lower the initial value to $995,000. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rubleski, Ms. Inglis, any questions for the assessor?
There is a little bit incorrect information. There is no fireplace.
Okay.
And I did not have a personal visit ever in the premises. I've been insistent of it, and the best I achieved, I refer pictures.
Do you have any questions on her presentation? Just on her presentation, you can make your presentation after.
There is not a presentation. This is just to submit the information about the assessment of party. They did not have a visit, and I do not have a fireplace.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe.
So I have a few questions. Is that okay?
For the assessor's presentation?
Yes,
Okay.
correct. First one is, how are you arriving at, or pardon me, how do you confirm the comparables? And are they sold? What database do you look at?
We look at comparable sales that occurred from April 1st, 2021 to April 1st, 2023.
Okay, and so is that from the MLS database or Sabre? Which one do you use?
We use an MLS database that occurred.
Okay, thank you. The next
As well,
question-
we also will go more. We will contact a homeowner if it didn't occur on MLS.
Okay, did you contact any of the homeowners that you used as comparables?
I don't have that information in front of me.
Okay, all right. So as well, we'd like to understand how you arrive at the time adjusted sale price, please.
Again, that's something that the modelers do behind the scenes, and they look at sales from April 1st, 2021 to April 1st, 2023. We found that prices in 2021 increased and 2022 prices decreased. So there would be a downward adjustment if a sale price occurred in 2022 to get to the April 1st, 2023 value.
And that leads into my next question regarding the COVID market and how that may have affected.
The COVID market was before the reassessment. We are looking at sales from April 21st to April 2023. So again, I guess that is part of COVID actually. So again, the sales went up in 2021, which would reflect the date of April 1st, as I just said, 2023. The sales prices went down in 2022.
How much of an influence do the finishings have on the valuation or your valuation for your report?
It can have it depends upon the builder. This builder of the subject property is a Fox Ridge builder, which is quite a high-end builder.
Okay. You spoke a little bit about it with another property, but I'm going to ask the question again. Do the majority of similar properties have a retention pond influence?
If you look at the brief there, you can see that what the comparables have.
Yes.
They are retention pond adjacent, 3 of them, and retention pond influence. The influence one would be less valuable. It does have a bike path behind it, and that's resulting in less privacy. So that sales price would be less valuable than the subject property.
And the final question is, when you look at your average sale price per square foot, what calculation do you use for that?
Well, we look at it looks at the sales price and then it just divides it by the square footage.
Okay. And that's it.
Well, the builder, Fox Ridge, should I keep it for presentation or can I ask now? Because I heard you mentioned Fox Ridge is a higher end builder, and it's a little bit incorrect because Fox Ridge, it's a shell for Qualico Home. I built second home with Foxridge, and it's not Artista. Foxridge, the difference between Foxridge and Qualico, and I have double experience, it's just allowed you more flexibility if you want to make additional bathroom or change open concept.
Like, if you can formulate your point into a question for the assessor, that's what I'd like you to do. In this particular part of
Okay,
our process, okay?
it's not a question, it's more like Foxridge, this is not a custom home, it's a shell for Qualico. So the home, it's built by Qualico. It's very important, the finishes.
Right. It's
So
important in our
assessment is
presentation.
So we'll
down.
save that for your
Oh,
presentation.
sure,
Okay.
yes.
Mr. Kraus, any questions for the assessor?
I do not, thank you.
Mr. Purvis, any questions for the assessor?
Just have one, we've heard that there isn't a fireplace and it's in there. What influence does that have on the value of a home? Does it increase it, lower it?
A fireplace would increase the value, but as I mentioned, this property actually had a higher value and it was reviewed during RAP. So the value of 995,000 would be correct in this case.
Thank you.
Okay, again, we're on this property. Subject sale of August 3rd, 2021, 725,972. And now April 1st of 2021 or 2023, we are at 995, a jump of almost 300,000 from what it was purchased for. Why this big jump?
Again, it's a first-time sale that was bought directly from the builder, so it's not reflected of market value. Also, since that sale occurred, the basement finish was done.
Okay. I have no further questions then. You may begin your presentation, Mr. Applicant.
I'll start. We want to talk about the finishing. So I sold this particular home to this family, and at the time, as Vadim has said, it was a Foxridge or is a Foxridge home, a division of Qualico. And when we were in negotiating price, talking about upgrades, that sort of thing, there were no upgrades that were actually purchased or factored into the sale price at the time. That's the first point. But just to give you an example, something such as a wood structural floor would cost upwards to $20,000, whereas this builder did not put that in, nor did we ask for it. Whereas some of the adjacent properties, depending on the builder, will have those automatically. I just want to then look at some of the solds. So comparable number 2, where do you have that sell? When did that sell? By your records.
Comparable number 2, it is on there. You can see it sold in March 2021 for 800,713. It was time adjusted to 892,800.
Okay, I don't see that record in Matrix, but I do see a sale in 2019. The other point is the upgrades that have been done since possession have totaled $65,000, including the basement. There was a permit pulled, done by licensed tradespeople, but there isn't certainly that spread of valuation that your report's end result was. So if I were marketing this home, I wouldn't be putting it up at the 995.
Is there a question there? That sounds like that was just a comment.
Comment, yes, part of my report, I guess. And really, that's about it. I did use different comparables than you did. And we can go through those and just, I don't know if that's something that we can bring in at this point, but.
If it's before the reference period, up to April 1st of 2023, you can bring it in. Otherwise, we can't look at anything after the reference period.
Okay, so you're saying it's before, can only use comparables that happened before, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Because all of these that I have and use for my report are anywhere from 2021 to 2024, actually. May I ask why we couldn't use anything within the specific time frame 2021 to 2023?
You can use sales that occurred from April 1st, 2021 to April 1st, 2023.
Okay, so maybe I'm not understanding this thing correctly. Can I talk to you about the properties that I have found? Does that
Okay,
help?
right now you're,
In my report,
Yeah.
in the report.
Yeah, it's just up there, you have, okay, I could see properties that are sold in 2024 on here.
Yes, there's
Okay.
one. Yep, that's correct.
Well, there's some that are sold in 2023 as well that are after April.
Yes,
Okay,
okay,
so you can't speak specifically to those properties
I
because
cannot.
they're after the reference period. So they don't apply here at all.
okay,
I'm afraid.
all
Okay,
right, thank you.
so anything that
But you have properties that you can talk about.
Yeah.
Okay,
That are here.
that are in the report.
Yeah.
So,
I see one home, for instance, 332 Creekside Road was sold on. No, not that one, sorry.
that one's 2024,
Yeah.
yeah,
208 Creekside was July 21, 2022.
right, and that one sold for 769.
I have 730.
Oh, sorry, listed seven
Listed price.
sixty-nine,
Oh,
900, and sale price 739, that's correct.
So those ones you can speak to if there's one that you want to bring attention to.
Okay, I mean, this as well. Yeah, you've got a larger bonus room, there's some different features to it that are different certainly than the one at Valley Brook. Then can I introduce 136 Park Valley Road? See.
page is that?
They're not numbered, but it's 136 Park Valley Road.
I have a sell date of September 25th, 2020. No, that's the list date. Sell date is October 4th, 2023, so unfortunately not.
No, okay, that would have been one of my favorites. And then what about 95 Valley Brook Road? That one is on the exact street and it is sold, but sold.
August 23rd, August 23rd, 2021.
Okay.
So that's, you can't speak to that one.
Mhm. So just wanting to understand if, and put that forward as a direct comparable, certainly it's on the street itself. And has some of the adjacent or site influences that would be the same.
Yeah, if you could kind of guide us along too on where you are in your presentation.
Yeah,
Do
so
you have
I'm in-
page numbers there or
No,
something we can
it's not.
reference?
It's CMA side by side plus.
Side by side.
What page is that?
There's no page number
Oh,
unfortunately,
yeah, I just saw that.
sorry.
It's okay.
And then there
Maybe at the
is,
top of your, is there anything at the top of your page that?
no, I
guys?
don't have anything.
You got a lot of pages
I
here.
know.
Because from my look at this in the solds of you've got the CMA, the brief summaries throughout.
Yep.
There's the three last ones on the sold list are in the right time period.
Correct.
So 208 Creekside, 95 Valley Brook, 105 Willow Creek.
So how does that work? Would then you possibly consider those as comparables or no? Sorry, it's a
Okay,
question.
I'm gonna have to get things back in
Yeah.
order here again, okay? So if you wanna talk about properties that are sold before,
Mhm.
up until April
Yes,
1st, 2023,
yes,
you're welcome to do that.
right,
If you're summarizing the whole analysis, you're going to be including those properties that are after the reference
correct.
period, so that doesn't apply, okay? But if you want to pick out specific properties that are sold on or before April 1st,
Mhm.
2023. then you can do that.
Yes, so I would pick out the last three on that summary sheet. Again, is that something that we can resubmit to do a proper assessment now that we know the parameters? Or is that, I know,
Well, these parameters are presented or available to you before, so, you know,
okay,
yeah,
All
this is your one opportunity.
right,
As far as the board of revision goes to your presentation.
so I mean, if we look at 208 Creekside Road, and it does fall, as you said, within the parameters, we're looking at 2880 square feet. And we're looking at a sold price of $739. Then the next one would be 95 Valley Brook Road, and as we know, that one's sold in yeah, that one's sold. Oh, there it is. In 2021 within the time frame, and that one sold for $849. And then the last one we've got at 105 Willow Creek Road, again with and that one's got a triple garage, that particular one, and that's sold in 2021 for $752,550. So those are the ones I want to, I guess, introduce for consideration.
Did you guys see those? You okay? Mr. and Mrs. Sefner, you saw those too? Well. You saw those? Yeah. Ms. Kaplevy, you saw those properties?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I do have questions.
Or you finished your
I'm
presentation? Okay.
I would like to.
Okay,
After or before?
No,
now,
You
okay,
yeah, you have anything else to say?
Just a little bit personal, here's the professional, I'm just a homeowner, I'm in business. And I'm in Winnipeg from 2011. I do have a previous house experience. I possessed a house in South Point. We purchased it in 2011 and we sold it in 2020. I purchased it for 550,000 and we sold it for 650. So over South Point, very close experience in 9 years, it was 19% increase. So it's 2% annually. We moved into this house about 3 years ago and we purchased it for 230, let's say round up. And now it's assessed for 995. It's a 37% increase over 3 years. It's not, as a professional, I cannot speak, but as a homeowner, it's absolutely ridiculous in comparison. Regarding coming back to the Fox Ridge, it's a shell of Qualico Group. You can get a Qualico home, but if you want to make the changes, you need to go with Fox Ridge. So I have a quality built home. I have a basic 2x6 construction. I have basic basement. I have a regular stucco. When you walk to my neighbors, it's acrylic stucco, it's engineering flooring, it's engineering basement. The price difference just in the same square foot, it's dramatically up. If I would build the same house, and we tried it with Artista, Gino, Merrick Home, it was at $300,000 to $400,000 more. And the reason of this, because I want the more space for my kids. It was not the luxury I was looking for to get the pond and the square footage. It was, I have 3 kids and I have animals and I wanted the space. And the only way for me to achieve that and stay in the city is to go in Fox Ridge shed. But the amount of money you have, the paperwork, it's simple. It's not comparable. All the comparable has been provided by assessed. It's all Artista, I think it's Marik. And Fox Ridge, when it's actually has been increased from the day of purchase to the day of possession by $100,000. So they took a Fox Ridge and they put additional 100,000 when they was building. I wasn't. I purchased this home in $254 per square feet. And now I get assessed for $348. It's assessment of Artista home. You walk into my home and you walk to my neighbors' homes, and it's like purchase a Cadillac and a Pontiac. If I take my Pontiac and I park in the Cadillac parking lot, would you assess it as Cadillac? You still have to assess it as a Pontiac. And upgrades, it's not even completely finished. Basement, I pulled the permit, I use a professional electrician, but I did work myself. I have the receipt if needed, I can provide, it's cost me $30,000. I did landscaping, I personally use professional, it's cost me $25,000. We're doing the fence right now, it's not even finished yet, it's $10,000. So the value it has presented here, it's not there. I've been generally mixed in with fancy homes like Artista and Marek and shake them the ball and say, here's your average. Sorry, like you take several professional real estate, walk into my house and assess it according to the way it's built. It's not correct assessment. It's a general assessment of the street. If you live on the street, you have to pay the taxes. It's apologize, I'm not in real estate. It's the same thing if you take a Pontiac and you drive to Cadillac parking lot. Sorry, you park in the Cadillac parking lot, now you have to pay more taxes. It's still the same size, have 4 wheels and same square footage, but it's not same components has been assessed and built and cost. So I would like to, Mr. Chairman and the board member, to review it and compare apple to apple, not to apple to some fancy diamonds.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Kaplevy, do you have any questions for the applicants?
Yes, I do. Okay, I just want to state that the Municipal Act does say that the properties have to be reassessed every 2 years. So what was currently done 8 years ago has no relevance on today. But sorry, what was your name, sir?
Vadim.
Radim? Okay, you
Vadim,
talk about,
this D. Sorry. It's fine. Vadim is fine. The way you say it.
okay. Okay, you talk about the builders here. When looking at my comparable 2, do you know what builder built that house?
Which one are you referring to?
260 Willow Creek Road.
260, it's a Fox Ridge.
Okay, so Fox Ridge is the same as yours, and you are correct. It is a Qualico, and it is the top build of a Qualico. You were saying I used other builders. Comparable 4, 51 Windflower. Who was that built by? That
I don't have, we couldn't find that.
That was also Fox Ridge. So 2 of my comparables are the exact same builder as yours. Okay, now going to your comparables here. Your comparable 1 at 208 Creekside Road. That is a full basement, correct? And not a walkout like yours?
That is correct.
Okay, and comparable 2 is also a full basement, not a walkout. Is that correct?
And sometimes it doesn't. That one is not a walkout, no.
And well, comparable 3, 105 Willow Creek. That is also a full basement, not a walkout.
Yes.
Okay, and comparable 1 and comparable 2 of yours, 208 Creekside Road and 95 Valley Brook Road have no basement finish, correct?
Yes.
So basement finish would add to the value of the home, correct?
It would depend on materials used, etc.
Generally speaking, basement finishes add value to a home.
Yes,
Is that
I
a
do
yes?
agree.
Thank you.
So does someone come
Okay.
in to assess those?
Just a yes or no, please. Also, would you not agree that a walkout basement is worth more value than just a full basement?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, that was my next.
And would you agree that 2 of your comparables here are built by Kensington Homes, a track builder? So would you not agree that those would be a lower value than a Fox Ridge home?
I would say it depends on the finishings.
Okay, thank you. And out of your 3 comparables here, they are on a much smaller lot size, correct?
Correct.
And your three comparables, Creekside, Valley Brook, and Willow Creek, do not have a retention pond influence.
Yes.
Is
we
that
knew
correct?
Yes, correct.
And a retention pond would add to the value, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Purvis, any questions for the applicants?
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions related to 95 Valley Brook. I think one was just answered. So that property is not adjacent to the retention pond?
No, I would say it's more of an influence.
Okay.
So
And that one, as well, I gathered from the questions from the assessor, the basement's not finished at 95 Valley Brook?
it doesn't talk about remodeling in here at all.
Okay. But it's not a
I
walkout.
can't see that. I'm sorry, is my answer.
Is it a walkout or
No, it's not.
not? Okay, so and do you know who the builder for 95 Valley Brook was?
I do not.
And what would your suggested value for 163 Valley Brook be? I know your report shows a median, it shows an average, but that's going to include some numbers that shouldn't be calculated. So what would you think is a fair assessment value?
What would I price it at if I were marketing it? Is that correct?
In April 1st of 2023.
2023, probably 879.
Okay, that concludes my questions.
Mr. Kraus?
I have no questions.
And I have no questions. Ms. Levy, do you have anything in summation?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to summarize that the homeowner presented comps from the agent that were not walkout basements. They were inferior land and inferior condition. The comparables I presented are more similar and support the subject assessment of $995,000. Thank you.
Mr. Wroblewski and Ms. Inglis, do you have anything in summary?
Yeah, I do. Regarding we referring back and forth about the lot, my question is for the adjuster. She referring to the basement finish, she referring to the basement walkout, and she again coming back for the Fox Ridge in comparison. What kind of basement cost assessment or walkout basement lot we're talking about in cost assessment? Because I purchased this house, so I know exactly how much it's cost. So when we evaluating this, what numbers do you put to finish basement and walkout basement?
This is not an opportunity for you to ask any more questions, I'm afraid. Yeah, we've gone through
And the
that
same thing
process.
for the Qualico and Fox Ridge, because I've been summarized again, two comparison was by Fox Ridge. When we was in a Fox Ridge home, purchasing the house, there is an option to take Qualico or Fox Ridge. And you can shove a lots of upgrades. And the example, the presentation here is done by appraisal in a home number 2, right here, with the sales price of the house and the actual adjusted time of sale, it's $100,000 different. They walk into the Fox Ridge homes and with the ease, they add $100,000. So this is the difference between what I'm talking about for Fox Ridge. It is not Artista or Matic home. It's a shell, and you can choose a huge difference in price. So my Fox Ridge home, it's not the same Fox Ridge home, it's over here. It's over $100 per square foot difference. It's not a fair assessment, just using the facts, it's not there. I have the documentation of sale. It's not something I come up with or I try to assess. We have bill of sale from Qualico Homes. It's a solid, legit numbers on the table. 3 years ago, this is not 10 years ago, 15 years ago when we have to estimate. It just happened recently. We got the possession in 2021.
So we were not able to go with a Qualico home because we went with Fox Ridge, and you're correct, it's considered more of an upscale build. And the only way that we could eliminate the finishings of a Qualico home was to go to a Fox Ridge, because they would let us do whatever we wanted or whatever we didn't want. And that's why we chose that. So I think it's a little misleading. Versus Qualico, they wouldn't let us, that would be a track home or a spec home, they wouldn't let us do anything.
This is the
We did explore it.
This is the
yes.
flexibility of Fox Ridge. It's like between the Kensington and Fox Ridge, they allowed me to do the changes. When the track homes would not allow me to close a open concept and put a bedroom.
Okay. Having heard all the evidence, for item 163 Valley Brook Road, that property matter is now concluded, this hearing. And, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, board.
Thank you.
Thank you, President.
So we are going to go to item 8671 Bridge Lake. This is an application for revision of assessed value. Can you, Ms. Graven, can you please swear in the applicant?
Mr. Mohammed, please state your full name.
Ahmed Mohammed.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
You may be seated.
Ms. Kaplevy, you may begin your presentation, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is 030992991220. It is 671 Bridge Lake Drive. It is in Bridgewater Trails, a two-story single dwelling built in 2019, 2,297 square feet. It has a walkout basement with basement finish. It has 3 full baths, 1 half bath, and 1 extra shower. It has central air conditioning and an attached multiple garage. The lot size is 5,909 square feet. It has a land fluence of light traffic retention pond influence. The comparables are all in the same neighborhood, Bridgewater Trail. They are all 2 stories built between 2019 and 2023. All comparables have a walkout basement, same as the subject. Comparables 1, 2, and 4 have basement finish. The square footage of the comparables range from 2,196 square feet to 2,738 square feet. Comparable 1 has 1 full bath, 3 half baths, and 2 showers. Comparable 2 has 2 half baths, comparable 2 has 2 full baths, 2 half baths, and 2 showers. Comparable 3 has 2 full baths, 1 half bath, and 1 shower. Comparable 4 has 2 full baths, 2 half baths, and 2 showers. All comparables have air conditioning, central air conditioning, and 1 fireplace. All comparables have an attached multiple garage. The lot sizes of the comparables range from 5,555 square feet to 5,904 square feet. The land influence of comparables all have the retention pond influence. In addition, comparable 2 also has the light traffic influence. The time adjusted sales price range from $937,000 to $1,033,000. The time adjusted sales price per square foot is $377 to $465 per square foot. The subject property has an older sale here, February 20th, sale of $838,000 for a time adjusted sales price of $1,017,332,000. Our 2025 assessment roll was reviewed during RAP, and the assessment was lowered to $984,000, which is $428.38 per square foot. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Applicant, do you have any questions on the assessor's presentation?
No.
Mr. Purvis, any questions for the assessor?
Yeah, I've got a couple. just looking at the land influences. I know it seems probably self-evident. Light traffic would be a negative influence on the properties, correct?
That's correct, yes.
I'm looking at the subject property and then comp 4.
Yes,
They're otherwise very similar. Comp 4 is actually a slightly bigger house, but has walkout finished basement, lots of bathrooms, central air, multi-car garage. Just the retention pond influence, and its value is even the adjusted value for it. The per square foot is $407.98, which is $21 per square foot lower. I'm just wondering why there's that big a gap for on paper what looks like a better property. I mean,
again, it would depend on the finishes in the house. I don't know the finishes. It looks like the build of Bridge Lake was actually a little superior to the build of comparable 4. And that price though is higher than the subject property. And if you look at comparable 2, it does have the light traffic influence, and that still is higher than the property than the subject.
sure, but I'm looking at the time adjusted price per square foot.
Okay, yeah,
And both of those have a lower price adjustment per square foot.
that is correct, yes.
Okay. I just and there's no, you don't have any knowledge that would explain those, like you didn't visit any of these properties or anything.
No, I did not. Actually, I can speak now. I'm just reading the note here. The subject property was a former show home, so there would be definitely more attention to detail paid in that subject property.
Okay, and do we know, the builders don't mean anything to me. I was gonna ask who the builder was, but it doesn't, but it was a show home, so we're assuming that it would have the high-end finishes.
That would be correct.
Most
Or
builders
the
aren't.
attention to detail anyway.
Yeah, like they're not showing off their worst work typically.
Typically,
Okay.
correct.
Those are my questions.
Mr. Kraus?
Along those lines, I'm looking at I don't know, maybe I'm jumping down here, I'm looking at the applicant's comparison. They have submitted 174 Willow Creek Road. Was comparable number 3. And it is 2 houses, I think it's 2 houses down, but I don't have an exact. And it's listed at 7, or its adjusted sale price was $738. And I'm just trying to reconcile that as well. And I don't know if you have any information on that property at all. To compare like almost a $300,000 difference in price, and it looks like it's the same.
I think we can do that after I heard his presentation.
Okay.
Do that.
Yeah, I have the answer to that. So.
Okay, great, and I'll leave that until after. That would be my only question, thank you.
And I have no questions, so now we can go to the applicant's presentation, and you may begin, Mr. Mohammed.
So thanks a lot for giving me this chance to give my presentation. So I'm gonna be very quick here. I have like a couple of points that support my evidence. I submitted like 4 properties that I think they are comparable to my property. I can see like from the city point of view, or the properties that provided by the assessor, they are like larger, they are newer, and I can see here the comment that we have, like a factor comment that we have is the retention bond, but only one property that you listed as light traffic, but actually my property like 671. It's light traffic, and I have to say, I think the city should reconsider this title, because actually Bridge Lake Drive, this is a snow route, so it's very, very busy in the winter months from December to May. Even I can't find a parking spot for my car. So I think this should be considered in evaluating my property. We have talked to the city many times about that, and we haven't come up with any solution yet. So this is the first point, which is I provided the 4 houses or 4 properties that I think they are comparable to mine. Second is, I think according to the city website, they indicate that like the developer, either if you build your house yourself, or it doesn't matter who the developer is. So there are certain other factors that the city relies on when they assessing the value of the house. I can see here, like my value, or the city indicated that they're gonna be expect 8% increase of the property value. But my property, I can see it's more than around 16%. And with given the big disadvantage of flight traffic that I didn't notice when I purchased my property, and I'm not planning to sell it for now. So this big disadvantage, definitely. So I'm questioning why my property is 16%, and I can hear from the previous applicants who were talking about in Bridgewater Trails, it's 12%. So mine is 16%. Other thing, the city relies on when assessing the property. Yes, we can say Bridgewater could be different from other neighborhood, but still we have a big disadvantage. And the city, when they evaluate a property develops, it relies also on certain developments in this neighborhood. And I have to say here, I think our neighborhood still, we don't have a fire paramedic station, which is a big disadvantage. And I think this should be considered when evaluating our properties in this neighborhood. I think my final point, I know we can't talk about the assessment value, but just I would like to bring that up, the property that it was indicated here by the assessor, 178 Willow Creek. The sale price is $1,027,000. But I can see actually the assessed value is 804, which is a big difference. I'm not sure the situation about that, but I think I'm not sure. So in summary, I think my property is very close to 204 Willow Creek. I did an average, and I think it should be close to 799. So thank you.
Okay, Ms. Kaplevy, any questions on the applicant's presentation?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. In your comparables here, your property at 725 Bridge Lake, your property at 731 Bridge Lake do not have basement finish. Would you agree that basement finish contributes to the value of a home?
I agree. This is based on the city, but
thank you. And your comparable.
Yeah,
I haven't finished.
Just a yes, no.
Just
a yes, no is fine. Thank you.
But it depends when you finish the basement and how much you're paying for that as well. I think I didn't finish my basement for 150,000. I don't think so.
Well, again, looking at the comparables, we're not comparing a house that is 2000 age. So all the comparables are relatively the same age, which means the basement finish is relatively the same age. And looking at your comparable 174 Willow Creek, that has a full basement, which is different than a walkout basement and does not have basement finish. So would you agree that should be a lower value than a walkout basement with basement finish? That's correct.
174 Willow Creek?
Yes.
Just need to check here. Sure, just give me 1 second. I can't comment on the if it's walkout or not. I'm not sure, but to me here, yeah, I'm not sure. I can't tell about that.
Okay, I did check, and that property does not have a walkout basement, and it does not have basement finish. In regards to your factor here about just the neighborhood and the fire response team, you do see that I used comparable sales in your neighborhood. So we're comparing apples to apples in terms of that. And, okay. And, oh, one more question. Your evidence does suggest that there has been an increase in property values. Would you agree with that?
Increase in property value
Yes.
of my property.
No, in general, there's been an increase in property values.
I can see here like the properties that I provided, I think the time adjusted value, some properties is less than the sale price. I'm not sure what the reasons behind that. I'm expecting with inflation, yeah, things change. But interest goes up as well, so I'm not a real estate agent, so don't take it from me.
Okay, so the value you are asking for is less than the value you paid. So you actually think that your property has gone down in value?
And this is a very good question. I'm a first home buyer. I don't have any experience. And honestly, I'm not sure. I didn't ask to assess my, like officially to assess my home right now to see how much it is. I'm just giving the examples or properties that are similar to mine.
Okay.
But I can't give you an exact number for my house now, unfortunately.
Hey,
But I can see other
you
properties
do know
with
that,
value.
yeah,
But
you
I
do
can
know
say I
that,
provided other properties that the adjusted value, the adjusted price is less than the sale price. I think it's in my evidence.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And you did mention a comment there about assessments, but again, you do realize that values are based on the sales price during the reference period.
I agree, but
Yeah.
to me, here,
Okay.
it looks like it's a big gap between 1,000,000 and 800. That's a big gap.
Right,
So
and the one
I
for
took that
800
evidence
has
like
no basement
this
finish.
property provided at that time. Yeah. So
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. I have no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Cross,
I have no questions.
Mr. Purvis,
I don't have any questions for the applicant.
so your comparisons here, how well do you know these properties?
I just get the information from the city website. I haven't visited. I haven't taken in like, so I got that from the city of Winnipeg website and the sale prices that I provided from the what do you call it? Yeah, the residential sales information. Yeah.
You drive by them and have a look at them?
No. But to me, they look like very similar to mine, except the, no, I'm talking about mine, sorry, yeah, I thought like talking about the assessor. And again, traffic is very, very big disadvantage in my property now, and I'm not sure how it's gonna affect the value of my house now. We have made many complaints, honestly, about that. Still, we are working on that.
What would you, the finishing in your house, how would you grade it? High quality, medium quality?
My house, I would say, yeah, as
Property, yeah.
my sister indicated, it's Artista house, you know, so it's, we have to say, but Artista like builds like very high end, moderate end as well. You can see like 3 millions and you see 2 millions and still you see like in 700, 600. Artista, they can do that. I would say mine is like an average. It's not like a very luxurious house, very big, no. Still, the living area is small.
$2,300 is small, yes.
Compared to the like what the assessor provided, oh, certainly it's small. Like it's like it was compared to like 2,700. So mine is like 22. So I think it's not a fair comparison to compare to 2,700.
Okay, I don't have any more questions. Ms. Levy, anything in summary?
I just ask that the value of 984,000 be confirmed as my comparables are similar to the subject property. They are all walkout basements and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mohammed, anything in summary?
No, just for me, I think we just need to reevaluate my property, given like the traffic big disadvantage that we are having. And the properties that I provided. So yeah, I will leave it up to you.
Okay. All right, then having heard all the evidence for this item number 8671 Ridge Lake, we can bring that matter to a conclusion.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
Yes, I'm not sure if you need that, like it's a description of the properties that I provided in my evidence. Do you need it or you have an access on it? You know what I mean? Yeah, like the.
Well, I concluded this already. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that's fine, yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. Nobody relating them? Fine. Strong, 16, 19, 13, 15. That's 6. Okay, we're gonna have to take 5 minutes here, right? 13. So. The next item on our agenda is item 9, 138 Laporte. And I believe the applicant is not present, correct? So we will adjourn that one. After item 6. So carrying on to item 10, 123 Vanderbilt. This is an application for revision of assessed value. And I believe the applicant is in the waiting room. Ms. Graywood, can you please swear in the applicant?
So we have several people joining us today. Just here. Great. We've got everybody there. I'm going to start with Lipping You. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Can I get you to state your full name?
Yes, I can hear.
他问你说你的父名，你的全名。
My name is Li Pingyu.
You
Last
affirm,
name-
sorry,
My name is Li Pingyu. Last name Yu, Y-U.
perfect. And you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. And then Su-Ying Yuan?
Yes.
Can you just state your full name?
虚英元
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. And Harry Nguyen, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Can you state your full name?
Harry Wynn.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Kaplevy, you may begin your presentation for this property.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is 0306533180. It is 123 Vanderbilt Drive in the neighborhood of White Ridge. It is a 2-story single dwelling built in 2001. It has 2,299 square feet. It has a full basement with basement finish, 1 full bathroom, 1 half bathroom, and 2 extra showers. It has central air conditioning, 1 fireplace, and an attached multiple garage. The assessed lot is 6,124 square feet with no land influences. The comparables are all in the same neighborhood of White Ridge. They are all two-story single dwellings built between 1993 to 2003. And there's an effective year built of 1998 to 2003. All comparables have full basement with basement finish. All comparables have a total of 4 bathrooms. All comparables have central air conditioning. Comparable 1, 2, and 3 have 1 fireplace. Comparable 4 has 2 fireplaces. Comparable 1 has an attached built-in garage, while comparables 2, 3, and 4 have an attached multiple garage. The lot sizes of the comparables range from 4,611 square feet to 6,132 square feet. Comparable 1 and 4 have a hydro transformer box influence. The time adjusted sales price on the comparables are $641,000 to $704,000. The time adjusted sales price per square foot is $279 to $330 per square foot. The subject property has an assessment roll value of $652,000, which is $283.60 per square foot. Thank you.
Thank you. The 3 applicants, do you have any question on the assessor's presentation?
I did just have a single question, or maybe multiple. When you, I see the comparable report here, and I'm just curious why we didn't use more comparables from Vanderbilt. I'm just looking at the prior information and like the other properties on the street. I'm just wondering why we didn't use more Vanderbilt properties that seem to have comparable living area and assessed land area. I don't know the specifics of the interiors of the home. I'm just generally curious why we didn't use the similar properties that have fairly close square footage.
Yeah, I'm not sure because we have hundreds and hundreds of comparable sales, but we do compare, like if the other ones on Vanderbilt were a bungalow, we would not compare a bungalow to a 2-story. If the other ones were built in 1980, we would not try and use those as comparables. If they were 1,500 square feet, 2-story, we would try and find ones more similar. So we try and find properties that are more similar.
Thank you.
Any other questions from any of the applicants? Okay. Mr. Purvis, any questions?
Yeah, I'm just a little bit curious regarding comp 4. I haven't seen this before on a property like this new. It's got a year build of 98, effective year built 2003. It also seems to be the highest sale price. Was like, do we know why? Was there a fairly extensive renovation done to that home or recently, or do you know?
Because there's an effective age on it and we only bumped the effective age up by 5 years, there would be some upgrades, but not extensive on it. They may have put in new carpet or redid the kitchen or something like that.
Okay, I was just curious more than anything. It just doesn't seem old enough to really need an effective date upgrade. So.
Okay, any other questions, Mr. Purvis?
No.
Mr. Crowe?
I have no questions.
Those transformer boxes are they a significant influence on the values?
If I recall from another hearing, they actually don't do anything to the value.
If I could jump in again real quick. For questioning.
If you have a question, yeah, if you have a question.
Yes. So I guess sort of adjacent to the hydro transformer box, does sewage and sort of sewer location, sewer main location affect the overall assessment, like degradation or sort of improvements? There's a sewer, I mean, this is just the general question. Does that also play a role into the assessment? The location of sewer drain mains?
No.
It does not. I see. And I guess further to that, even if there is sort of a burden on the homeowner to, my point I'm trying to make is there's certainly a flooding and clogging issue in that general area every year. And in the form of a question, would that be a factor in sort of the burden aspect of
In terms of
degrading
the assessment, no, it would not. That's something that's got to be taken up with the right
city?
city department. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, I have no further questions. Therefore, we can go to the applicant's presentation. You may begin.
Okay. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. A lot of our submissions for reassessment were based on assessment value, and I can see that that is a contentious point today. So we're going to try and avoid that as much as possible. I think the most glaring thing that jumped out at us was the overall increase year to year was a 13% increase. And I know that's inclusive of the entire area. Much of the area, however, does sort of back onto this, I think we're calling it like a pond or like a water, some sort of water feature. I can't remember the exact wording that you guys used, but so my in-laws property does not back onto this property or onto the water at all. And I know those values are significantly different between the two. But their increase was 13%, which we felt was pretty significant year over year compared to what my father-in-law had seemed to calculate around 5% for the rest of the neighborhood in comparable areas. I wish I had more supporting data for that specific point, but the 13% in itself seemed to be a pretty significant jump. So we were just looking to see if that could be reevaluated based on some other variable factors. Other than that, and again, I'm trying to stay away from any assessed values, just based on comparable homes within the area. I did review the comparables that were sent by the assessor, and I think that I think 35, comparable one, was the most relevant one to our property. And I think that one's even a little bit larger in size, but we were sort of assessed at a higher rate. And I just think that, again, looking at the values in the overall area, we came in a little higher than others, and we were just unsure of what the differences were there. It seems like all the builds are fairly similar. All the models, at least from the street views that we can get, like driving by the street and everything, we can see that the home builds and qualities seem to be very, equivalent. Same style layout, same driveway, same garage setup. We have two doors. Some people have just the big double door. Other people have bigger lawns, better view of the street. So that's generally our case to make here. Is if we're leaving out assessed values specifically published, is just based on comparables to the other properties in the neighborhood that are of similar build and similar quality from what we can tell on the exterior. It seems like we came in a little higher than everyone else, and we're just looking for sort of a reassessment based on that. That was that was basically my entire
okay.
Yeah.
Ms. Kaplevy, any questions for the applicants?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Harry, for not going into the assessments. As you know, you do not have any supporting sales then to support a lower value, do you?
The only supporting sale that we could find was I believe it is 35 Vanderbilt, which is listed at 620. I think that's the sale price, 625, 500.
Right.
And I think that was, sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, I interrupted you.
And I just think that as your comp one was, pardon me, fairly equivalent. And then based on your time adjusted assessment, it also came in a little lower. So I think that's fairly in line with what we were expecting to see. But again, we're not experts in the matter.
Okay, yeah. If I just look at that comparable one, 35 Vanderbilt, it does support your value. It is a little bit of an older house. And you're right, it does have 18 more square footage. So if we just want to look at that one does support your assessment of 652. Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Mr. Crouch?
Just going back to, you had said that you had an increase 13%. Is that from your previous assessment?
That's correct. Yeah, I think our
So
prior
would
assessment
be-
was 577,000 prior
Right.
year to 652 this year.
And so that's a year, so that's over 2 years and it's 13% is what you're saying?
Correct. Yes.
And then if you are putting some weight on comparable one, the 35 Vanderbilt Drive, is that sort of the square footage rate that you were hoping to get?
I mean, ideally we go as low as we could reasonably go, for obvious reasons. But I believe so. That would be sort of in the ballpark, with consideration that they are a little bit larger in square footage. We do have an extra shower in our house, but I don't know. I'm in Ontario right now, so I don't know the overall fit and finish of all these homes, but I've been to my parents' house and, it is an older home. There hasn't been a ton of renovations done. Again, I don't know the comparable on that side, but speaking from experience, they're older homes. And yeah, so I guess that would be the closest comparable that we could find.
Thank you. Those are my questions. Mr. Purvis, any questions?
I don't have any questions.
I have no questions. Anything in summary, Ms. Kaplady?
No. I'm good.
Anything in summary from the applicants?
Yeah, again, I want to thank you guys for your time and hearing us out. And appreciate sending us all the comparisons and the information. So it kind of made it more transparent and clear what we're looking at. I know the sewer thing again wasn't really a consideration or a factor in determining the values, but I don't know if and again I don't know if it could be considered at any point. But the burden on my in-laws for having to clean that, it would, I mean, generally lower their experience and potentially the value. I don't know how that's assessed in, but I just wanted to conclude that as well. Otherwise, there's nothing else for us to add, I don't think.
Okay, thank you. So having heard all the evidence for item 10, number 123 Vanderbilt, we can now conclude that matter and the applicants are free to leave. Thank you very much for your presentations.
Thank you.
Then proceed to item 16. Item 16.
What about 13?
13 was withdrawn.
This one.
Oh, okay, it's just, it didn't show up on mine. Check.
The item 16 meeting. Ms. Zhao, can you hear me? Hello? Hi.
You're muted.
Now, so I don't know the overall fit and finish of all these homes, but I've been to my parents' house and, it is an older home. There hasn't been a ton of renovations.
Sorry, Ms. Zhao, can you mute your
Again, I don't know the comparable on that side, but
It's perfect, that's better. No, you've muted your Zoom meeting. Can you mute YouTube and then unmute on Zoom?
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Oh,
okay.
it's my turn now?
It is your turn now, yes.
Sorry.
Okay, we are going to proceed to item 16, 486 North Town Road. This is an application for revision of assessed value. Ms. Graywood, can you please swear in the applicant?
Ms. Zhao, can you state your full name?
My full name is Xia Cao, Xiacao.
Perfect. And do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Levy, you can begin your presentation on this property.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. The roll number is 0309-169-0500. It is 486 Northtown Road. It is in the Bridgewater Lakes neighborhood. It is a cab over single dwelling built in 2013. It has 2,001 square feet with a full basement and basement finish. There is one full bath, 2 half baths, and 2 showers. There is central air conditioning and an attached multiple garage. The assessed lot size is 7,436 square feet. It has a land influence of bus route and medium traffic. The comparables 1 through 4 are in the same neighborhood, Bridgewater Lakes, or the comparable 2 and 3 are in the adjacent neighborhood, South Point. All comparables are cab over single dwellings built between 2010 to 2013. The square footage ranges from 1,861 square feet to 2,302 square feet. All comparables have full basement and basement finish. Comparables 1, 2, and 3 each have a total of 3 bathrooms. Comparable 4 has 4 bathrooms total. All comparables have central air conditioning and 1 fireplace. They all have an attached multiple garage. The lot sizes of the comparables range from 5,839 square feet to 10,057 square feet. The land influences of comparable 1 are the same as the subject and have a walkway. Comparable 2 is the same as the subject. The time adjusted sales price of the comparables range from 634,000 to 748,000. The time adjusted sales price per square foot ranges from $325 to $359 per square foot. The subject property has a sale in 2020. The time adjusted sales price would be $579,180. After the house was purchased, the basement was then completed. The permit is attached. The 2025 roll assessment is $639,000, which is $319.34 per square foot. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Chow, any questions for the assessor's presentation?
I have one question. How much average percentage of our area increased for this assessment?
The average area increase was 12%.
Thank you. I have no more questions.
Mr. Kraus, any questions?
I have no questions, thank you.
Mr. Purvis, any questions?
I have no questions.
And I have no questions. Oh, excuse me, one question. Okay, it was bought in July of 2020 for 490,000.
Yes.
And is assessed now April 1st, 2023 at 639. And you said one of the factors was the basement being finished. Is that correct?
The basement was finished since the sales price. It was finished after the sale occurred.
Okay, so that accounted for the time adjustment and the basement finishing to go from 490 to 639?
Correct. The time adjusted sales price was 579 and then basement finish 639. The comparables supported.
How much was the time adjusted sales price again? Sorry.
579,180.
So you're adding what is it, 60,000 for the basement finishing? Is it there.
Well,
too.
not for the basement finish, but that's the value when you look at the sales with properties that are similar size that are also cab overs, basement finish.
All right, okay, I have no further questions. So, Ms. Chow, you can begin your presentation.
Yes. I wonder, I have, if you received my document fully, because I submit Excel document, but they change it to PDF and lose some columns. If you can see them.
Doesn't appear so.
I can see them if you keep scrolling down, you can kind of piece it all together.
Oh, okay. So
So
there
if you
is.
go to the first page, and then the second page will be the columns to the right of that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you can see everything I submit.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, that's good. I will start. Sorry, I picked some low value to compare. I bought my house in 2020. And I think during the COVID, the abnormal price house value increased, sales value increased during 2021, 2022, after I bought my house, which is abnormal, not increase, as I think. And the second, why I choose to compare the lower price value houses. When I bought my house, the house was posted at 514 and 1,500, and nobody bought it, so they reposted lower price. And because I had a restaurant close by, I take a look at this house. Even the internal, as I attached in my document too. Internal is very basic. Even the door in the picture, you can see the door compared to the assessor's comparable stuff. Even from front door, you can tell my door is much cheaper than the comparable houses the assessors brought up. Because we just have a very simple door. The other ones have like windows by side. I always want to change that, and I ask the price, so I know it's around 2,000 difference. And as you can see the picture, the internal is very basic too, and we do not have the fireplace inside compared to others. And I also have some friends in this area. I visit their house. I can tell my house is very basic finish. But during the COVID, I don't want to transfer the virus to my family, so I bought this one to live here, close to my restaurant. And they posted the post price when I bought it was 520,000 in the first place. Then they reposted 514,000 the second time, and the sales price is 490 thousand. So, my point is, the sales price is really below the post price, and nobody want it. And it's because the internal is very basic compared to others in our area. And the third one is, my point is my basement was finished, I submit my permit 2020, and I finished a year later. And I had another hearing like around 2 years ago. I don't remember, but which is effect my 2023 and the 2024 assessment already. So the basement upgrade is already included in my last assessment. It's not new in my 2020. It shouldn't be considered a new point for my 2025 property assessment anymore. Because I had another hearing like in last 2 years. So, and other than that, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Kaplevy, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to go over your comparables here, and you do mention some two-story homes, but looking at your cab overs that you mentioned, as we would not compare your house to two-story, there are certainly cab overs that sold during the reference period. You picked a different neighborhood. Would you not, why would you not pick sales that occurred in your neighborhood?
I'm sorry, I didn't know I am in Market Region 8 and Bridgewater Lakes 685 before. I know I am in Fort Ridge area. So so my first part was Fort Garry area. Then I was thinking maybe I'm in Bridgewater, should be Bridgewater Forest. So I picked some forest stuff. I'm sorry, I just didn't delete it. And then I noticed that I am belonging to the 685.
Okay, yeah, Bridgewater is, we try and when we look at sales, if there's enough sales to support the assessments there, we try and keep the sales in the same neighborhood. So I was just wondering why you use different sales. I do just want to ask you about your comparable at 19 Brockington Avenue. That house is about 300 square feet smaller. So would you agree that a house would usually be less value if it's 300 square feet smaller?
I agree, yes.
Okay, thank you. And I just want to mention the comparables here. You talk about the lower end here. Would you agree that your house and the assessment is at the lower end of value based on my comparables?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Mr. Purvis, any questions for the applicant?
I don't have any questions.
Mr. Kraus, any questions?
No questions.
And I have no questions. Anything in the summary, Ms. Kaplevy?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Anything in summary, Ms. Chow?
Yes, I do. Since the price went up abnormal, hopefully the price will went down. My property assessment will go down in the future if ever the sales price go down. I don't know if it will happen, but for me, the increased value for this year is $109,000. That's too much. That's around 20% more, which even compare the average increase in my area, it's too much. Plus, my house is, in my opinion, is the low end in my area for the internal finish. So I'm thinking 6% increase is acceptable for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Having heard all the evidence for this property, this now concludes item 16, 486 North Town Road. You may, thank you very much for your presentation, Ms. Chow. You may leave.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. And we will now proceed to item number 6. Do we have an applicant available? Okay, we will then go in camera to decide if we are going to hear the evidence for this property. Okay, we are back. The board has considered the matter. And we have decided that we will hear this evidence, this property in the absence of the applicant. So, Ms. Kaplevy, you may begin your presentation. You are muted. You're muted.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is 0309-300-2055, 48 Valley Brook Road. It is in Bridgewater Trails. It is a one-story single dwelling built in 2021. The living area is 1,688 square feet. There is full basement with no basement finish, 2 half baths and 2 showers. There is an attached multiple garage. The assessed lot size is 6,998 square feet, and it has a land influence of a walkway. Comparables 1 through 4 are in the same neighborhood. They are 1 stories built in 2021 and 2022. The square footage ranges from 1,400 to 1,859 with full basements. The total bath count of comparable 1. I'm getting mixed up. Of comparable 1 is 3 bathrooms. Comparable and the other 3 comparables have 2 bathrooms total. Comparable 1, 2, and 4 have central air conditioning. Comparable 1, 2, and 4 have 1 fireplace. All comparables have a multiple attached garage. The lot sizes range from 4,888 square feet with a walkway land influence to 6,086 square feet with land influence of external corner and light traffic. The time adjusted sales price is $561,000 to $631,500. The time adjusted sales price per square foot is $332 to $449 per square foot. The 2025 assessment roll value on this property is $565,000, which is $334.72. I ask that this value be confirmed.
Thank you very much. Mr. Purvis, any questions?
I do not have any questions.
Mr. Kraus, any questions?
No questions.
And I have no questions. Anything in summary, Ms. Kaplevy?
No.
Okay, having heard all the evidence for item 6 for 48 Valley Brook Road, this now concludes that property. So we move to item number 9, 138 LaPorte. The applicant is not available, so the board will go in camera to decide if we are going to hear the evidence on this property. Okay, we are back in order. The board has considered a matter of hearing the evidence on item number 9, 138 LaPorte in their absence, and the board has, the panel has decided that we will hear it. Ms. Kaplevy, you may begin your presentation. You are muted, Ms. Cleve.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is 0309-145-2300, 138 Laporte Drive. It is in the neighborhood of Park LaSalle. It is a one-story single dwelling built in 2013, 1,069 square feet. It has a full basement and basement finish. There is one full bath, 2 half baths, and 2 showers. It has central air conditioning and an attached multiple garage. The assessed lot size is 4,154 square feet. The comparables are all in the same neighborhood. They are one-story single dwellings with full basements. Built between 1994 to 2013, they all have basement finish. Comparable 2 has a total of 2 bathrooms. The others have a total of 3 bathrooms. All comparables have central air conditioning. Comparable 2 has a fireplace. All comparables have an attached multiple garage. The lot sizes ranges from 3,676 square feet to 5,460 square feet. Comparable 1, 2, and 4 have park influence. Comparable 2 also has hydro transformer box influence. The time adjusted sales prices of the comparables are $448,000 to $481,000. The time adjusted sales price per square foot is $422 to $479 per square foot. This property had a sale in June 2021 of $450,000. Time adjusted sale price is $482,850, or rounded to $483,000. Our 2025 assessment roll value is $441,000, which is $412.54 per square foot. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kraus, any questions?
Just a quick interest question. This is the first time you've added a bunch of other information. Is there a reason why you did that at the bottom?
I just included the MLS sale because it was bought during the reference period.
Okay, thanks. That's all.
Okay, Mr. Purvis.
Just with regard to the net sale, it was sold for higher than what you're assessing it at. I'm assuming that June 2021 was that the COVID bump in price at that time?
The prices were time adjusted higher.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's all my questions.
And I have no questions. Anything in summary, Ms. Cleve?
No.
Okay, having heard all the evidence for this property, item number 9, 138 Laporte is now concluded. Okay. We have heard all the items scheduled and this hearing is now adjourned. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you.
Sarah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Go Bombers, go.
Yeah.
Okay, have a nice afternoon.
I don't know if they need cheering against the Elks.
Oh, I don't know about that, actually.